Hi there, welcome to Mat 5 Model Paper A Paper 2. As I said in class, just go to the questions that you need to look at, okay? They'll all be there, but it'll be quite a long video, so otherwise, if you're still stuck, give me a shout on the Modo or go and ask each other. Okay, so I'm just going to work through this and try and show you the marks are as well. Okay, but there's no marking scheme, so I can't be sure, it's just where my best guess would be. Okay, so Beth normally cycles a total distance of 40 miles per week. She increases the distance by 12% each week for the next 3 weeks. How many miles will she cycle in the third week? Okay, so this is a compound, well, essentially a compound interest question. Okay, it's increasing the distance by 12% each week. Well, that 100% is also increasing. Okay, so that's something that's you have to think about. Okay, so our starting distance is 48 miles, so that's what we're going to start with. The increase of 12% is going to take it up to 112%, which we know as a decimal is 1.12. Now that increase happens for the next 3 weeks, so that increase is going to have to be multiplied 3 times or cubed. Okay, you go to your calculator, you type it in, you will get the answer 67.4365 and so on. Okay, which let's just take that to the nearest mile because it's not specific. 67 miles. Okay, let's look at marking. You get 1 mark for 1.12 regardless of the power. You get 1 mark for the power being correct, and then 1 mark for your answer. Probably regardless of what you round it to because it's not being specific about that. Okay, next question. There are 4 times 10 to the power 4, blah, 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 blah. An average person has 6.2 litres of blood. On average, how many platelets does the person have in their blood? Give your answer in scientific notation. Okay, and this is one of our basic scientific notation questions where it just takes a nice easy question, put scientific notation and test is on it. The one place we will need to be careful is asking the litres there and it's giving us in millilitres there. Okay, so we're going to do 4 times 10 to the power 4. Okay, so there are 4 times per milliliter. Okay, so let's turn that into litres first. So if that's per milliliter, let's multiply it by 1,000 to see what it's going to be in litres. And then we actually want 6.2 litres, so we're going to multiply it by 6.2 as well. Okay, now remember, if you're stuck with these, think of that scientific notation as a nice easy number. Think of it as like even just 3. Okay, there's 3 platelets per milliliter of blood. What sums would you do? And then adapt it back with scientific notation. Okay, so you type that in your calculator, and it gives you the answer. Okay, 248, and then 6 zeros. Okay, now it clearly says it has to be in scientific notation. So in scientific notation, it's going to be 2.48, 1, 2, 3 jumps, 4, 5, 6 jumps, 7, 8 jumps. So times 10 to the power 8. Marking for this, you'll get 1 for the right sum. Okay, which is probably going to be a tricky bit because of that 1,000 there. The second mark will be for getting the correct answer, and then your third mark will be for turning into scientific notation. In fact, just thinking, I don't know if you will get a second mark, it may just be a 2-mark question there. Either way, the scientific notation part is an important part. Okay, so in the diagram, vectors A and B are here and here. Express A to B in terms of A and B. Okay, so A to B, there to there. We want to express that vector in terms of our vectors that we know. So we want to make the journey from there to there using only vectors that we know. So we don't know what that one is, that would be the ideal. But we do know that we can go along this vector that way to get to this point and then use vector B to get from that point to B. Okay, so for part A there, AB is going to be this, which is actually a negative A because it's going the opposite direction as A should go. So it's a negative A, add on a B, so you're going to B, so you're adding on a B. And that's your first one there. Okay, for part B, we are going from O to C. O to C is maybe a little bit different to Z, but the key thing here is to get from O to M is exactly the same vector as A to B. Okay, because it's a regular hexagon, so that's exactly the same vector as that one there, which we already know. is minus a plus b. So to get from O to C, we've got two lots of that vector. So O to C is the same as two lots of A to B. Okay, which means two lots of minus a plus b, which means minus 2a plus 2b. Okay, and marks there. One mark just for part A. You're going to get one mark for known to multiply that by 2, either in that form or that form, and then a second mark for that one there. Okay, graph of the equation y equals y equals kx squared. The point lies in the graph to determine the value of k. Okay, so we're looking for k here. That should have brackets around it because of the coordinate. If you're looking for k, we're looking for something that we can sub in for x and something that we can sub in for y. So we're just dealing with k as the unknown. Now we know we can always get an x and a y from a coordinate. So 3 is x and y is negative 27. So negative 27 equals k times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. So k has to be negative 3. Okay, now it's only asking for k. If it asks for the equation, you would tidy up and say, right, y is equal to negative 3x squared. Okay, so that's the equation there. Doesn't ask for that, so you don't need to put it in, but it's nice to have. You get one mark here for subbing in correctly, and then a second mark for going through to the answer. Okay, here we're looking for ABC. We have these two lines and we've got that angle, and we're looking for that length up there. Okay, we're looking for that x. Now here we've got two arms in the head. Okay, we've got two sides and the angle in between. Try to find the other side. So we know there, if we want to work with that, then we go to our formula sheet. Don't think you know it, go and check it in your exam, and you use your formula. So a squared, in fact, let's go back and call it, so let's call it x squared, because that's what I've called it in the triangle, is equal to the two sides, which is 4 and 9. So 4 squared minus 9 squared, minus 2 times 4 times 9 times cos of the angle between, which is 74. Okay, go to your calculator. 4 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 4 times 9 cos 74. And you'll get, right, okay, that's x squared is equal to 77.15 and so on. Now, a really common mistake would be to stop there, but you know, look at that, that's not going to be 77.15 centimeters. So you look, that's x squared we're calculating, so x is going to be the square root of all of that. You want to be as accurate as you can, just keep it in your calculator as answer, square root the answer. Okay, and your solution will be 8.7837 and so on. Let's do it to 3 sig figs, even though it doesn't tell us. So 8.78 centimeters. Okay, depending on the marking scheme here, I'm going to just give a mark for the substitution, a mark for getting x squared, and then a mark for getting your answer. You may get a mark for not using the cosine rule as well, depending on the marking, but it'll be at least that there. Okay, so question 6. Okay, we did a question similar to this in class here. We've got the volume of two shapes. Okay, V1 and V2. We want to find the volume of the whole thing. We do V1 and V2 separately, and then we add them together. So V1 is half a sphere. So we either do half of the 4/3 pi r cubed, or we can just do 2/3, because you know that's half of 4/3. And V2 is a cone, which is 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, now we know that sphere is 2/3 times pi times 5 cubed. So let's calculate that first. Okay, which is 261.799 and so on. Okay, now here the cone is 1/3 times pi times the radius, which is 5 squared times the height. Alright, okay, so right here, there's a tricky bit. That height is the whole thing. Okay, now the most common mistake here definitely would be using 21, just sticking in 21 here. Okay, but we know it's not 21 because it only goes to there. Now the trick is, from there to the bottom, that's got to be the radius of the sphere as well, because it goes from the middle of the sphere to the bottom. And the radius is 5 from that 10. So there's 5 centimeters there, which means the height up here is going to be 16. And then you can use that as your height. That's probably that will be the most common mistake in that question. Okay, so go to your calculator again, type it in. 5 squared times 16, and you're going to get the answer 418.879, so on, so on, so on. So V2, the total volume is V1 add V2, so 207.799 add 418.879. Okay, which is going to be something around, depending on if you've rounded at all at any point. 6, 7, 8, da, da, da. Okay, the answer, just double check it, correct to 2 significant figures. Okay, so 680 centimeters cubed is your answer. Okay, now marking here, you're going to go 1 for summing properly, 1 for answer, 1 for summing improperly, 1 for your answer. Okay, so you may lose that 1 if you get the 16, and then 1 for adding together properly. Okay, that should be 3 and 4. And then 1 at the end for your sig fig. So quite a lot of marks. That's a nice question to get because there's a lot of marks there for us. Question 7, Adele. Okay. Adele paid $288 for 2 in the park tickets. This is an increase of 20% on last year's payment. How much did Adele pay last year? Okay, so the key to this question here is you are working back in time. You're told what it is now and you want to know what it was before your percentage change happened. So this 288 here, that isn't 100%, that is 120%. Okay, because we've increased it by 20% to get to there. So that 120% is 288, and what we need to do is we need to go down to come back up to what we started at. Okay, now if as a non-calculator paper you don't want to go down to 1, you want to go down to something nicer, maybe 10%, because it will be nicer sums. But either way, there, because we get the calculator, let's just do down to 1 by dividing by 120, and then times them by 100 to get 100%. So I'm going to do 288 divided by 120, okay, which is £2.40, and then times it by 100 will be £240. Nice and easy to mark. 1 mark for making that initial statement, 1 mark for getting 1% or the equivalent, so 10%, 20% will work as well, and then the third mark for getting your 100% correct. Okay, question 8, loads of fun. Okay, definitely, almost definitely, 95% certain this will be in your exam. Okay, and we want it in the exam because this is our first 4 marks. Takes a bit of work, takes a bit of time, but 4 marks that we want to access for part A at least. Okay, so firstly calculate the mean. Well, we know the mean is what happens when you add them all up. So 24, add 29, add so on, so on, so on, add 25, divided by how many there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, go to your calculator, 24, add 29, add 27, add 23, add 28, add 25. Okay, just be careful that you find the equals there before you divide. Divided by 6 will give you 26. So the mean, actually probably just write as mean rather than that, is 26. Okay, the standard deviation. Okay, to do that, you got your formula. Remember, we use the second formula, which needs your x's and it needs your x squared. Okay, so the x's are your 24, 29, 27, 23, 28, and 25. Okay, as you add them up, you all just done that, and that's 156. And then you square all of these, so 24 squared is 576. 29 squared is 841. And you keep going with that. Okay, and then once you've done that, you add all of them up as well. Okay, and if by magic it appears at the bottom, 4084, And then your standard deviation formula from your formula sheet is that. Again, make sure that you go and you check it. You don't just think you know it. Okay, so we sub in. So the sum of my x squared is this number here. So it's 4084. And then I'm taking away the sum of my x's, which is 156, squared, divide by n, which we know is 6, and divide by n minus 1, which we know is 5. You type that into your calculator, and you'll get 2.3664, so on. Again, no, doesn't tell you what to take it to, so good way to go is 3 sig figs. So it's 2.37. Okay, and I'm going to do B over here, and you know that I'm going to rush it. Writing. Okay, another sample of 6 bags is taken from machine B. This sample has a mean of 24 and a standard deviation of 2.8. Write down 2 valid comparisons. Okay, so we're talking about machines packing sprouts into bags. Machine A, the mean is 26. Machine B has a mean of 24. So the first thing we're going to do is compare our means. So machine B has a lower mean. Okay, so there's your first part of your statement, but you won't get anything unless you tell me what that actually tells us. Okay, so machine B is a lower mean. So on average, machine B packs less sprouts. That sounds like a good thing to me. Okay, so packs less sprouts. So there's our first statement, lower mean, but that tells us that it packs less sprouts. The second one, machine A has a standard deviation of 2.37 and machine B has a standard deviation of 2.8. So machine B has a higher standard deviation. So remember that standard deviation measures the spread, how consistent it is. So machine B has more variation or is more varied. Has more variation in number of sprouts. Well, that's obviously what that says. Okay, so again in there, make your statement, tell us what that means. Make your statement, tell us what that means. The one that people do not like and always get wrong is the standard deviation one. Remember, it's a measure of spread, how far apart the numbers are. The bigger the standard deviation, the more variation there is. Okay, so marking, 1 mark for the mean, lovely. 1 mark for both of those being correct. 1 mark for a correct substitution, and 1 mark for a correct standard deviation. In part B, 1 mark for a correct statement, including the reason or the explanation behind it, and 1 mark, a second mark for that one there. Okay, so scheme wash is available in 2 different signs. They are mathematically similar. Okay, so we know we're doing a similarity question. We know we're using scale factor. Calculate the volume of the maxi bottle. Okay, so we want the volume of the large one. So firstly, we need a scale factor. And we know there that 20 and 8 are corresponding sides. Now we want a bigger volume, so we know the bigger one's on top. So 20 over 8. Because we are changing volume, that scale factor is going to be cubed. Okay, because remember that scale factor applies in 3 dimensions for volume. And that's going to apply to the volume of our smaller one. Okay, so go to your calculator, type it in, okay, which is 6.25 litres. Remember your units, okay. Nice and easy, 3 marks, 1 for the scale factor, or 1 for the cube, and then 1 for your answer. Okay, question 10, part of the graph of y equals a sine x plus b is shown below. Okay, explain how you can tell from the graph that a equals 4 and b equals 1. So it's an explanation question, which is nice. Okay, so firstly, the first thing you notice is these numbers are different here. Okay, so it's not our standard sine graph. In fact, it's not a sine graph at all, it's a cos graph. Let's change that. Okay, so it's not your standard cos graph, because if that was 5, usually this would be minus 5, and that's where the plus b comes in. That move, let's move it up and down. So 5 and negative 3 means that in the middle, what would usually be the x-axis is now moved up to the middle of 5 minus 3, which is 1. Okay, so the first thing I'll do for part B equals 1 as graph has been moved up one place. Oops, I've done some. One place, that's better. Okay, and there, from that midpoint, between 1 and 5, you have 4. Between 1 and negative 3, you have 4 down the way. So there's our 4 and negative 4 that goes to that front number. So A equals 4, his amplitude is 4. Okay, that's a nice question in terms of asking you to explain, but the majority of the time will come from a direction that will give you that graph and ask you to get A and B, but you'll get 1 mark for that beautifully written explanation and 1 mark for that. Okay, part B, calculate the coordinates of the points where the graph cuts the x-axis. Okay, so here, let's use blue. I've not used blue yet, have I? What a moment. Okay, so we want where it cuts the x-axis. Okay, now again, and this is tricky, it cuts the x-axis when y is 0. So our formula, which was y equals 4 cos x plus 1, is now, okay, I'm going to come down out of this. I'm going to extend that page. This is now going to be y is 0, because it's on the x-axis, y is 0. So 0 is equal to 4 cos x plus 1. And this is our trig equation. We've got an equation, all numbers apart from x. And we know to solve a trig equation, we need to get everything away from that cos x. So we're going to take away 1 first of all. So minus 1 is equal to 4 cos x. And then divide by that 4. So it's minus 1 over 4 is equal to cos x. Okay, and not an easy question this, but you're getting towards the end of paper 2, so it's not going to be easy. Okay, but you've just got to recognise your questions. Okay, key to this is the x-axis and y equals 0. Okay, now we have our trig equation. Cos x is equal to negative a quarter. Okay, we know that there's not just going to be one solution from the graph, there's going to be 2. And we know how to get those 2 as well. It's a cast diagram. Okay, we're looking at the cast diagram. Okay, so we're looking at cos, and we're looking at a negative number, so we want to tick the 2 places that cos is negative. It's positive here and here, so it's negative here and here. Okay, we want the angle that we're working with is not necessarily going to be an answer. So the angle, let's go back to blue, the angle is going to be inverse cos of the positive version, just a quarter. Okay, so we do shift cos of 0.25 or a quarter, gives us just a 75.5 degrees. And I know my answers in that third quadrant, sorry, in rubbish, in my second quadrant, is going to be 180 take away. So my first answer is going to be 180 take away that A, and then my third quadrant is 180 plus A. Okay, so my 2 x's are 104.5 degrees and 255.5 degrees. Okay, now I've finished my work, but let's go back and think. Calculate the x coordinate, so I don't need to give a coordinate. That's me done. Okay, let's see marks. Okay, so your marks here, 1 for having it equal to 0, which is excellent. Second mark for rearranging. Your third mark will be for 104.5, and your fourth mark will be for 255.5. I've seen marking schemes that give a mark there instead of for one of these, and it may be the case, but either way, that's how we're doing our work. Okay. Okay, nice. Calculate the area of the sector. Okay, area of the sector is one where we have to remember our formula. Okay, so we've got a formula here. Let's check the question. Calculate the area of the sector removed from the circle. So we're looking at this bit here. Okay, so the area of a sector area, is a fraction of a circle. Okay, so it's a fraction of the area of a circle, and that's a formula you have to remember. The angle there is going to be 125. and we're multiplying by pi times the radius, which is 30 squared. Okay. Right, we're calculating, which is 981.7477 and so on. Let's do it 3 sig figs, so 982, and we're talking centimeters squared. Okay, for part B, we're looking at something a wee bit different. Calculate the circumference of the base of the cone. So this cone is formed from this paper. So to make the cone, you take the A and the B and you make it touch, and then this bit in the middle pops up. If you think about when you made a wizard's hat at some point. Okay, you can do it from a circle, folding the two corners together. So when it's looking for the circumference of the base of the cone, it's really looking for the arc length around the long way between A and B. Okay, so for part B, we're looking, it's asking for the circumference of the base of the cone, but we know that really means the arc length, which is this fraction that we have at the center multiplied by the circumference. Okay, and make sure you go over these again. You've not seen them for a wee bit, and we need to be on top of them. So the angle is not 125 this time because we're looking for the big angle. So 360, take away that 125. Is 235 over 360, and we're multiplying by pi times the diameter, which we know is 60. Okay, so back to the calculator. And that's going to give us an answer of 123.0457. Okay, is equal, let's do 365, 123 centimeters. Okay, because we're just talking about a length now. Marking. Depending on the marking scheme, you may get a mark for that one there. Let's be generous this time. 3 marks. And the same there. Let's go 3 marks. Okay. One for knowing the formula, one for subbing into the formula, one for calculating with the formula. Okay, there's been no reverse stuff here, so it's just like a straightforward case of calculating. Okay, so question 12. Okay, it's a nice question, a really nice question. Find the range of values of p such that the equation there has no real roots. Now this here, no real roots, should be shouting out to us. We're talking about the discriminant. So we're b squared minus 4ac. Now because it's no real roots, we know what the discriminant's got to be. That's got to be a negative number. It's got to be less than 0. So we make that statement, b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, as there is no real roots. Now b is negative 4. Minus 4 times a, which is p. Okay, in front of the x squared is p, in front of the x is negative 4, and the number at the end is 4. Okay, times 4 is less than 0. Negative 4 squared is 16, minus 16p is less than 0. And we've got ourselves an inequality. So we take away 16 from both sides, minus 16p is less than negative 16. We divide by negative 16, which gives us 1, and because we're dividing by a negative, we flip that round. Okay. Now you'll get 1 mark for making that statement correctly, 1 mark for subbing in, and 1 mark for the answer there. Yeah, I would imagine you may get another sticky mark elsewhere, but that's probably just it. Okay, so that's you. And that's us done. Okay, that last question is really tricky. We've not seen one of them, I don't think, in a Nat 5 exam yet. But it's just a kind of problem solving question based around the discriminant. Give me a shout if you need any more help with anything.